we are at part 4 of emotional intelligence. We've looked at various pieces coming up to that. We've looked at self-awareness. We've looked at self-management. We've looked at social awareness. Now we're going to look at relationship building / management. This fourth part of emotional intelligence is a crucial piece in how we understand and how we are able to take then what we've learned and how we've grown in ourselves to be able to apply it in a broader context for greater effect. It is my firm belief, after decades of experience and a thorough reading of the Bible, that all of life can be reduced to relationships. When we consciously foster positive relationships, we are most like God and most in His image. As we've seen in several scriptural references in previous presentations about emotional intelligence, God is more concerned with how we treat each other than any claim to being Christian. That's because it is in our relationship and the quality of those relationships that we can see the truth of our relationship with God. We can see it, and so can everyone else. Regardless of how much we profess to love God and follow Jesus, if we treat others with disrespect and disdain, our relationship with God is nothing more than a fantasy. Don't be deceived. Our relationship with others is a mirror of our relationship with God. This is a conscious, purposeful choice to care more about others than our own agenda, our projects, our ego. And this doesn't come naturally. The path to this kind of relationship building management is hidden from most people. The path begins at the point we start to become self-aware of our own emotions and how they impact our lives. By asking the questions, how am I feeling? Why am I feeling that way? We begin to understand that our emotions and their triggers don't have to hijack us. As we learn the skills of self-management, we begin to see how to take control of those triggers and emotions to keep them from controlling us. We are becoming intelligent in a new way, emotionally intelligent. This new intelligence, in turn, opens the door for us to be able to be socially aware of what others are feeling and how their emotions are affecting them. And this new awareness on our part is an exciting development, and we have turned from "it's all about me" perspective to realizing the power of connecting with others. We now have both the insight and the understanding to begin to make that connection happen and to blossom more fully into God's image. Now, with this final step of EQ, we're going to learn about how to connect and truly make the potential of positive relationships a reality. Relationship building management can only work when we are ready to choose to step fully into the image of God. To get to this place, we have had to become aware enough and in control enough of ourselves to be able to understand that it all comes down to relationships. In Philippians chapter 2, verses 3 and 4, we read, "Don't be selfish. Don't try to impress others. Be humble, thinking of others as better than yourselves. Don't look out for your own interests, but take an interest in others too." In a moment, we will look at specific strategies that will assist in moving from being socially aware to fully engaging. Jesus' incarnation is an example of just this transition. And you can read more about that in Philippians chapter 2, verses 5 through 11. His personal involvement in the physical realm of our world and in the relationships with people demonstrates the value God places on relationships, reinforces the importance of this perspective, and the necessity of employing techniques that will purposefully and consciously bring us into harmonious relationships with those around us. Now, I'm going to share with you 5 proven strategies for building and managing relationships. Please write these down. Please practice these in your life. You're going to some of them may seem incredibly simple. They're not, because it will require you to push yourself beyond what you are normally doing. Number one, train yourself to smile. That may sound simple, but I can assure you that if you take the time to stop and think about your expression at any odd moment of the day, and especially when you are around other people, you will discover that you do not smile nearly as much as you think you do. Have you ever noticed when you're talking with someone and they smile, how it literally lights up their face and transforms them? Dale Carnegie writes, "The expression one wears on one's face is far more important than the clothes one wears on one's back." And boy, I think that's the truth. The act of smiling can actually generate positive emotions in yourself and in others, and it makes it possible for you to build and strengthen relationships. Smile, and make that a point in your relationships with people to bring that smile with you. Number two, discipline yourself to remember names. Again, I'm coming back to Dale Carnegie, who said that the sweetest sound to a person is the sound of their own name. Now, I know when somebody remembers my name, I'm impressed that they have taken the time and the energy to do so. It adds to my impression of their competency and their credibility. One thing for sure, people who discipline themselves to learn and use the names of others in conversation give themselves an edge in dealing with people. The ability to remember names is often discounted as not that important, but it's probably one of the most important things you can learn, particularly for those who want to understand the importance of relationships. The best way to remember a name is to listen carefully, and when you hear the name, repeat it. Think about the person, associate it with something about the person, and use it as often as possible when you're talking to that person. Don't worry if you forget their name. Simply apologize and say, "Hey, I'm trying to remember names. I'm working on this. Could you remind me again what your name is?" People understand about forgetting, and they respect that you're making an effort to remember their names. What you don't want to do, what you cannot do, is give yourself an excuse for not doing this. Just do it. This one thing can literally give you an incredible ability to build and manage relationships. Number three, encourage others to talk about themselves. Remember that the people you are talking to are 100 times more interested in themselves and their wants and their problems than they are in you and your problems, Carnegie writes. And when you turn the conversation to the other person, you have hit upon their favorite topic. And from there, you have a chance to build on that and maintain a positive relationship. Number four, talk in terms of the other person's interests. Now, I'm going to share with you a concept here that's when I learned this concept and fully embraced it, literally was transforming for me, and that is WIFM, WIIFM. Write this down. WIIFM. What's in it for me? This concept is one of the most powerful communication concepts on the planet. Those who master the ability to keep the WIFM in mind when dealing with others will have achieved an amazing advantage in building and maintaining relationships and being able to bring solutions to problems. When we take the time to understand what interests other people and talk in terms that reflect that understanding, we have more and better likelihood of finding a solution that will work. And then number five, acknowledge the other person's feelings. Don't shy away from the emotions expressed by others. Instead, recognize and acknowledge them. Everybody has a right to experience feelings. You don't have to agree with them, But by acknowledging them, you have built you have a built-in door to be able to get to the real issue. You could say that their expressed feelings is really a gift. And you might perceive it to be caustic or in some way negative in your mind. But if you change your mind and think about it, their expressed feelings is really a gift to you. By acknowledging that other person's feelings, you can begin to find the real problem. And from there, you can begin to work toward a solution. Saying something like, I can tell you're upset. What can I do to help? Will create an opportunity for the other person to begin to talk. And then other questions can help focus in on what needs to be addressed and find ways to help that other person. It also makes them feel validated and that you really and genuinely care about them. Now, there are many other strategies that can be employed, and I encourage you to explore some of the books that are going to be listed in the bibliography, like the one I've been citing just now, Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. Probably one of the must-reads in your life, second to the Bible, because it has so much to do with how we literally perform and work with others as Christians. Really, it is about life itself. So if you will take these 5 strategies and build them into your life and build relationships, you will begin to discover that in the world where you understand it is not all about you, that you can be transformative in the lives of others and bring a positive experience that will open so many doors and realize so much that up to this point you would probably found yourself stumbling over. I hope you made notes of these. I hope you go back and listen to this video. I hope you write down these 5 points and practice them. Read the book I mentioned. There's going to be others in the bibliography. There are several books that are going to give you the coaching you need to be able to get to the information you want to share. We'll talk to you more. Thank you very much.